Good evening, Facebook. I am coming on live because I'm doing an interview tonight with the incredible Mummy Jojo, and I was trying to do it on my business page, but for some reason it is not working. So now I'm waiting for Jo to follow me. Let me just see if I can add her. So this was meant for my business page, but we're going to just do it on my normal page. So maybe I can tag Jo and see if she can come on. If anyone's got any... Now, can I add you? No, I can't add you. That's so weird. So I'm waiting for Jo to come on, and she is on, but for some reason I can't... Oh, wait there. Bring them onto the camera. Wait there, Jo. For some reason I can't bring you on, Jo. It's so weird. So we're going to do an interview tonight. I've got so many questions. Mummy Jojo is from Edinburgh. She's an author, a podcaster, a speaker, and a blogger. And she's an incredible woman that's making like amazing impact in the city and the world. And I really am desperate to speak to her tonight. And for some reason, her name is not letting me add. Are we there? She's definitely there. But yeah, I don't know why I can't add her. I can add Laura Weavers. Hi, Laura. Do you want to take over? It's so strange. Jo, do you want to try you going on live and adding me? Why are we not? Oh, wait, you're there. Yes, it's working. You're adding, yes. So, oh, deep conversations and transformations, just why we're connected.
Yeah.
Yes. My word. Woo! Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm turning the laptop off. I'm just going to have to do it on my phone. Oh, I hate technology.
Yeah, I think it has to be on your phone for some reason.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It was my first joint live. I'm really excited.
Sorry, I should have said.
Can I move my face so I can see you, because you look so fit.
Yeah, can you change it?
Just to get my mug out of the way. It's okay. I see you now.
Okay.
It's all good. How are you?
I'm good. The sound is quite low, so hopefully everyone can hear us.
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me? Do you need me to speak up?
There, that's perfect. I can hear you now.
Yes.
So before you came on, this broke.
Oh no.
So tonight I've got you resting upon some angel cards. So feel the vibes.
Oh. Feeling the vibes.
So welcome. I'm going to introduce you, but then I'm going to get you to introduce yourself to everyone out there.
Okay.
All right. So this is the incredible Mummy Jojo. She's a podcaster, an author, a speaker, a blogger, and a mummy of two, and a wife to an incredible husband.
Sometimes.
So you tell us, I've only met you once, but it feels like I've known you a long time.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Can you tell everyone more deeply about yourself?
What's to say, really? I'm a bit of I've got an obsession with helping people to get their mojo back. A proper obsession, to the point that, yeah, I just want to make a lot of noise and help people and smash all stigma of mental health. I just want to make topics that people are afraid to speak about normal.
Yeah.
So what I really felt this year is the transformation. I am.
Yeah, sorry, the phone is doing funny things. Sorry. So
my vision was to make really difficult conversations easier for people. So when I'm in a supermarket and people come up to me, I had a guy weeks ago to tell me that he was considering suicide, and he would never have said that, but he felt he could tell me. I get to have really, really intense conversations with people on a daily basis, and that blows my mind. I think that's why I'm so obsessed, and that's why the brand's growing and growing, and I'm going to make more and more noise and collaborate with people like yourself. The podcast we did impacted so many people, And people were saying about your one, they could hear you smiling, even though we didn't video it, and we probably should have. Especially the I'm not
I'm not
afraid.
afraid.
Everybody.
So good.
No, so they could hear, they could feel you smiling when you spoke. You know, just to be able to collaborate with people like yourself and make some noise and make a change to the world is the best feeling. But I had an interesting chat with a friend last night, and she was like, Jojo, like, I don't see you as mummy Jojo. I just see you as my mate, as like this Jojo who doesn't really put things down people's throats, and that sounds really dodgy. He doesn't like ram, you know, I'm quite a relaxed person. She was saying you're always like, your house is open to people and you love people, but you're actually really chilled. So the way she sees me on Mummy Jojo is being quite, because when you're really like feisty and you're making noise,
Yeah.
not everyone's gonna like that. But people that have obviously been friends with me for a while know a different side of me. I'm quite like, don't take myself too seriously, have a bit of a laugh,
Yeah.
a bit of a
Well,
party animal.
I think the day that I came to your house, you were so warm, so kind, and I just walked in and felt at home, you know.
Oh, that's good. That's what we want.
I've definitely seen all those sides of you, and only met you once, but also watch you, and like watching you on Instagram is just amazing.
Very, very honest, and yeah, I just like to dance around and help people feel a bit better. So
yeah, and that takes me to the book, and that's really how I met you. I first met you in your book, in your words. Yes, there is the book. For me,
a little bit promotion.
yeah, that first chapter, I remember reaching out to you that night. I read the first chapter because it just really, you caught me.
Yeah, I mean, this book is not for the faint-hearted. There's a lot of comedy and jokes and banter in it, but there's some very, very serious topics that we struggle to talk about. And the thing about this book, I was working on it for a few years in terms of research, doing interviews with people, really, really learning what the issues and the key barriers were, and also learning people that worked with the most incredible therapists, how they managed to self-heal and find their mojo again when it's so going, you know, the mojo.
Yes.
It's so prone to going, like the other day, I totally lost my mojo. I felt so hurt and so confused, and I'm not like saying that I'm constantly living with mojo, but my mojo is probably the brightest and best it's ever been because I've been working my butt off to nurture it and to help others.
Yeah, and you're only human, you know, I'm the same. Like, I run classes every week, but sometimes, you know, I totally lose my mojo and I'm like so emotional, but that's okay as well.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay not to be okay.
Yes.
I actually remember singing that song down Stories a couple of years ago because I can't even remember what happened, but I can't even remember. But I was singing that song and people were like loving it. Yeah, it's such a good Jessie J. Gotta love Jessie J.
And I love the fact that every podcast you do, you have the person being interviewed pick a song to sing with you karaoke style at the end.
It just really helps to not take yourself too seriously when we're discussing really, really sometimes tricky topics. And then just to be able to go, oh, let's just sing it off. And I have some people that are proper professional singers, like the one that's gone live tonight with Angela Jackson. She's an award-winning author, an incredible writer, a badass babe, but she sings like a proper professional. I mean, I would love to get license, and it's something I'm looking into. I've wanted to do that for like 10 years, but I've not got around to it. But she's proper, like, whoa. But there's been some people that I can't sing. I'm like, it doesn't matter because it's about this sort of therapy, you know, the mojo injection we're getting when we're just dancing around the kitchen and getting lost in the music.
Yeah, totally changing our state.
Yeah.
So I've got some questions from people on Instagram and I've got some myself. And talking about the podcast, somebody asked, what inspired you to start the podcast?
It was a guy called Max, who I was doing some content ideas with, and we were having a brainstorming session, and he was like, why have you not started a podcast yet? And I was like, I can't do that. I have no idea what I'm doing. I wouldn't know what to talk about. And he started laughing, and I was like, what is it? And he was like, I cannot believe I'm side of you when you're so out there that you're so afraid of this. And I thought, actually, it's a good
Yeah.
point. And then I did a bit of research, and loads of people were like, we really, really, really need a new podcast. So I thought, screw it, I'll just learn how to do it. And that's how it happened.
So they also ask, you know, what advice would you give people that are wanting to start a podcast?
Know your subject. Do choose a subject and a name that is relatable with people. Be passionate enough about your subject that you're going to want to talk about it a lot. Collaborate. Don't be intimidated by people like yourself who are so awesome and so well respected. Don't be afraid just to shout out and say, you know, let's chat. Have fun with it. Technical stuff I can't stand. It takes up so much time, and Hubs has been phenomenal helping. But some message to say who's your production team, and I was like, I don't have that. But I would say just be prepared for the commitment. If you're going to do it, commit to it, because if you commit, it's the best way for people to get to know you and other people. I've had people, like I had a divorce lawyer on, and I've had so many people message for her details. Now, I'm not on commission for this divorce, but because she came across so well, people, and she was rapping and stuff, people relate to her. People want real human beings at the end of the day that are not afraid to share. And yeah, so just go for it. Just go
Best
for
advice.
it.
Go for it, and commitment.
Yeah, just go for
And
it.
commitment is so true. You know, if you keep showing up, something starts to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's quite magical in a way, actually. Some of the feedback I've had from those deep conversations, the one with yourself included, has been mind-blowing. Like, people would put photos up going, the one I did with Hubs about his previous gambling.
Yeah.
People, the messages I got about that, about how it helped people, just blew my mind. And I was so proud of them, and I'm so proud of everyone that's coming on that's able to share something, you know, just something. Not everyone who comes on has had an addiction or depression or been abused or whatever. Some people are just talking about, you know, stress at work or stress with relationships or how to juggle family life, or, you know, it's a real mix of stuff. It's a good fusion. But our mojo impacts everything. Like, everything impacts our mojo. So there's always something to talk about with your mojo.
There is. So you talk about family there, and somebody actually has asked a question. Like, what has been the best thing and the hardest thing about having children? Because you've got 2 children.
Yeah, I've got 2 kids, and the best thing, I just didn't know what love like that. When they tell you they love you, or when they do something, like the other day, like Bonnie said something that blew my mind, I'll never forget for the rest of my life. But the hard thing is when they're hurt. When they're hurt, a little piece of your soul dies, and I've never experienced pain like it, and you just want to protect them. The way the world is so different. You want to protect these little people. You want to do everything you can for them. Yeah, I would say that's definitely the hardest thing, seeing people you love hurt.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
And the kids are so energetically, like, attached to us, eh?
It's really hard to explain. It's just, but every parent I speak to, they just say, I mean, all the wrong in the world they want to put right.
Yeah.
But I think for anxiety as well, because my levels are slightly higher, and we all have anxiety, and it keeps us alive, and it's good for us. Anxiety can be a superpower. I mean, some of the best speakers I know have anxiety, and I know for me, some of the impact I've had on stages when I've been so scared.
Yeah.
And I watched Matt Haig, he was heckled for talking openly about anxiety and going on, you know, the TV and speaking. And I thought, isn't that ignorant for someone to say, how can you have anxiety and do that? They were feeling with that. And I thought, actually, no, it can, when you learn to manage it, the passion and the energy you get from that, you can do incredible things. It's very powerful.
Yeah, and I think, you know, most people get anxious before they go on stage. Like, public speaking is like the #1 fear.
is over dying.
Yeah, exactly. So how long have you been doing public speaking for now, and what do you talk about when you get on stage?
Oh, so many different topics. I've been public speaking for years now, but it used to be more in a business context, and now I can relate things back to business. I'm doing a talk in a couple of weeks, and I'm relating everything back to business. But I speak about anything. It depends what the people want me to talk about. If it's, for example, I'm talks to kids that are struggling with stress, what we talk about, how they can use that and turn it into positive. Talk to corporates about self-care and performing at their best, but not forgetting, you know, the checklist of things. I talk about all sorts, relationships, addiction. Actually, every chapter in this book,
Yeah.
I've got a keynote written, so I can do a 5-minute chat, or I can do a full day session, or I can do an hour big stage. I'll do it all. I love it all.
Amazing. I need to see you speaking soon.
Yeah, let's do it.
The book. Tell us more about the book. Like, I've got people asking, like, how long did it take you to write, and did you come up against any blocks when you were writing?
No, the block was time. I mean, I started the book 11 years ago, but hadn't made enough mistakes. So I parked it for a bit, fell in love, got a job I loved. So I was spending all my time working in this job for boutique hotels that I loved and getting it on with my new boyfriend, who's now. So there wasn't time to be writing a book. I was in the honeymoon period. And then I think once I really hit a point, firstly, when I had the anxiety attack in New Zealand, and secondly, when my dad got sick, that was my driving force to think, no, I need to get a book out there. My first book was always going to be a kind of aspirational piece, and it was going to be sharing mistakes I'd made and trying to help people. And then I'm going into kind of fiction, comedic fiction with mental health twists next. But yeah, I would say over a couple of years, very slowly. The blog, though, so much research, because the pieces that resonated, I would adapt some of those into chapters and just build on them gradually, because I got a real sense of the themes that people wanted to read about and the themes that people needed support with.
Yeah. So when did you think, did you realize that you had sort of the power to help people?
I would say when I first started the blog, before it was Mummy Jojo, it was just Jo Fraser, and parents wrote to me because I was very, very upfront about the tough side of parenting, and it was just when I had a 2-year-old pregnant, and one day Bonnie, I'd taken her to Tesco, and she just had a meltdown. Kids in supermarkets, I think they're very much an anxiety environment. You know, happiness doesn't sell. The marketing, supermarkets are a place where a lot of anxiety attacks happen, and playing up, she was overtired, and then she had to go into the toilet, and she opened the door, and I was on the toilet, and she was running away in the supermarket. It was just horrendous. And this kind of stuff happens to parents all the time, but I wanted to talk about it and say, look, I love my kids, but it's okay to struggle.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry. It doesn't mean you've got depression. If you're worrying, you're spiraling, it could just be that you're really, really stressed and you need someone to talk to. So that was very early on, I realized, but then I had no idea what was going to happen and how much more that passion would kind of build and grow.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the first book is out. It's available for everyone watching to buy, but you're on to the second one. Is that correct?
Yeah, but to be honest, I've got a lot of work to do with this. I've not got an agent. I have an amazing speaking agent, Speaker Buzz. Everyone should check them out. They are a phenomenal. So Debbie is one of the co-founders, and she's one of the best PR people. I think she was on here earlier. One of the best PR people I have met. She's phenomenal. She's given me so much advice, and she's now set this up with her sister Carol, who's also amazing. And to be part of that team, I think you know of it. I think you may have family members.
My brother is on there, and my brother actually went to school with you, so there's so many like connections and synchron.
It's so crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, so I would like to have a book agent now, because with this book, because I've gone down the sort of smaller route, because it was desperate. It's not like I could hang out for Penguin Books, and I did catch the attention of some really big publishers that would have been able to help me more to push it. But they said, grow your following more. So at the moment, I'm probably about 12,000 across all the channels. They were saying, try get to 50,000 or 60 and then come back because we like your stuff. And I said, I can't, like that takes ages and I can't afford it. So actually this book's going to help people right now. The fact that you were crying that day, you know, with that chapter 2,
Yeah.
messages I had about that, I just thought, I'm so glad I did it now, because it can be published again by a giant that can put it everywhere. The great thing about doing it the way I did was Sean, who's the founder of the company, he just let me have an authentic voice. His writing is really, really raw, and he works with some amazing people, and I really get the work he's doing. He's massive in America. He's making big waves. I really respect him. But as he said to me, Jo, you need to get this everywhere.
Yeah.
And they just don't have the resources with PR. I've got some great PR from just advice or people, journalists picking stuff up. But I think with this book, it needs to make more noise because the reviews speak for themselves. It needs to reach more people. It's not just a book that you can kind of have a laugh. This book actually it was written to help potentially save someone's life.
Yeah, you do work in it, and it is very emotional. You know, I remember reading that second chapter. I was on my way to the Edinburgh Gossip Girl, like breakfast morning, wiping my mascara, and it really.
Oh, it's tough, but not just the first chapters are heavy, and I say to people, if they're having quite a tough time, maybe just dive into chapter 3 and you can come back to the first 2 because they are heavy, but they're so true. Chapter 2, the way people make you feel, you will never, that's a basic life skill. We often forget the things people say over the years, but how they made us feel, we never forget that. So I think themes like that are going to help people, even if they're not living with depression. I've had people that were, you know, really struggling with their relationship, but just reading it from a different perspective and knowing we all struggle. Because some people might look at me, or they might look at couples that got the perfect relationship, and that really, Scott and I debated on episode 1 of the podcast that we don't think the perfect relationship exists. And I have put it out there. I'm happy to get someone on the podcast that does. So if anyone is listening and would like to come on and they believe they have found the perfect relationship, but
So
yeah,
does
just
the
being able to
perfect
talk.
relationship exist? This is a question.
My take on it is that the one is you. So if you look after yourself, then you're not going to have enough. I know if I'm not looking after myself, I'm not a great wife. I know when I am, I'm much better. And the same with Scott. I think communication is absolute key, though. Talking about things is
Totally.
so key. So
So
important.
important. That's why I'm so passionate about coming on here and even speaking to you tonight. Like when we do have these deep conversations, like everyone involved does transform.
Yeah, I know. And the great thing is a lot of people don't have the chance to video. How long will it be available for? Will it be available for life after this?
It's available forever.
Great. So people can come on, because I know sometimes when I see live flashing up and I'm like, no, I can't have, because if I get into conversations and I'm in the middle of doing 5 things. So personally myself, I'll go back to dip in and out of things, but it would be nice to have a copy so I can share as well. Because I think he is, and what we're both is just getting these conversations. And what I loved about you, Lynette, was you sent me a message earlier today, and you were speaking about how you wanted people to feel that would tune into this video. It wasn't about you, it wasn't about me, it was about how people were going to feel after they'd listened. And I think that's very magical about you. And yeah, I'm really inspired by you.
Thank you. It is all about the feeling. You know, my intention for tonight is so that everyone feels uplifted and motivated by our conversation. And I feel motivated and uplifted by you.
Oh, good. Well, I always do with you.
So I want to ask a few more questions. We've got somebody from Cam on Cannon Street. They asked, what are your goals for 2019?
Right, so I want to be, I've started a vision board, but I'll admit the time, I have not it yet. But continue to speak, but really, really big rooms. I want to do my first TED Talks.
How many people?
Oh, thousands. I mean, I actually find the smaller gigs scarier. You know, when you're, like I was at Citibank recently and I was in this room with like 20 people or something, and it was really intense. It was phenomenal, the transformations and the feedback. Scary. Oh my God. Whereas you put me on a stage in front of thousands of people, that's less daunting to me. I don't know why, because you can't really look people, you know, in the, well, not that this, I mean, it's good to look people in the eye, but do you know what I mean? When you're putting yourself out there, and you're like, yeah. I think Scotland needs a kind of Tony Robbins style thing with the rave music, and
Yes.
yeah, we need to team up and
Let's
do
start
something like
it.
that. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yes. So one of your goals is to speak in front of
Yeah.
thousands.
So that's one. And the other one, I need to get a speaking. No, I've got a speaking agent. I need to get a book agent. So if anyone, I need a book agent that can help me, because it's just me. I am drowning in work. I need help. So I know my book resonates with people. I know I know this next book is gonna really make some noise. I need help to get it everywhere. But it won't stop me. I'll keep working, because this book, even though I've not had the level of PR that I would like for it to reach more people, I know that it's helped so many people. So it's just work. I'm never going to stop working hard at it, but I need help. I need an agent.
So if there's a book agent out there, please get in touch. This is going far. So that's two of the main goals, yeah?
What else? I've got quite a few goals. What else did I have? I mean, in terms of, it was a question a kind of career
just whatever,
thing.
just whatever came up. It can be career, family.
And with the mojo injection, I have been discussing getting that onto a radio, just to get more people, because it's amazing the people tuning in. But if I can just get that, when I was doing the Kay Adams recently, it really hit me, just to be able to spread those vibes and slam down things that weren't right. That was such a good feeling to put that out. And I was on the radio last week, and I said to the guy, how many are gonna listen to this? And he said, oh, millions. And I thought, to be able to say something you're passionate about to millions of people, that's exciting. From a family point of view, just keep raising the kids to be kind. Just keep having fun. I do a phone detox. So today my phone was away for about 4 hours this afternoon, and we went a walk. So the phones were left at home. We carved pumpkins. We made a pumpkin pie and a pumpkin lasagna. We had snuggles and watched a Halloween movie, and there was no phones for that. So making sure that I'm getting those quality times and encouraging others to do the same, because there's a whole chapter in the book about iPhone addiction. I know Andrew touched on it last week, didn't he? And it was a big issue 2 years ago when I wrote for the Evening News, and I had a phenomenal response to one of my articles, which I adapted for chapter 11 of the book, I believe. And yeah, it's powerful. I get it. I get the twitching fingers, right? I get the comments from hubs. Can you put your phone away? My business is on my phone. Like, a lot of the stuff I do is on my phone. I admit, if I get a great inquiry in, I'm like, oh, that's so exciting. Yeah, but then I've got a family to enjoy and a family to cherish and friends to have fun with. Like last night, I was at a friend's party, and it was just phenomenal to be dancing and not thinking about my phone. But I still get that twitchy hand. They're very addictive. They're the new heroin. We just need to talk more openly about it.
And keep each other accountable to have time off.
Yeah, and also I want to do more with schools. A big lesson for me this week was not getting involved with my own school counsellor, who works so hard. And I really think the mojo injection kind of voice would be great. I think I can contribute more to my kids' school, but not just my kids' school. To schools, I've had a lot of messages this week from people that have felt there have been unfair things happening in schools. So the thing I said about the policy, whereas apparently all over schools there's this kind of first come first serve approach to little kids who don't understand why they're being excluded from things. I want that to be banned across schools. A first come first serve policy for an annual school event that all children should be involved in has to be put in place. I will fight for that. So I guess for me, anything that comes up that I feel is unfair, I won't just rant about it. I'll do something about it.
And that's what we need. We need leaders, and you are a leader.
It would have been very easy for me to sit back and not say anything. And had that not happened, had I not, things wouldn't be happening. Like, I've had messages today, I'm going to take this up with my school in a different part of Scotland, or oh, this has been a real problem. Thank you for having the balls to say, because I'm going to take this up. Sometimes these conversations are hard to have, whatever it's about that's controversial.
Yeah.
Because we all have an ego and no one likes to feel they're being attacked. I get that. I really get that. And I feel awful that some people feel that they can be attacked. It's never a nice feeling. And people need empathy. And I think all I look for, empathy is power. It's so powerful. People just want to be heard. And so often we're not listening to what we're saying. We're not actually taking the time to listen. We're just trying to think of solutions, or we perhaps see oversharing as a weakness. We need to listen up to people.
Listening is a good skill.
It's a hard
skill, but once you get it.
Once you get it, it's very powerful. With 2 ears, 1 mouth. But you don't get anywhere if you don't make noise. Changes won't happen.
No, and we have to make these changes. So well done for you for stepping up.
Thank you.
So, until this point, what would you say you're most proud of that you've achieved?
Just being able to give back. That's what I want to look back on, to be able to help others, and also how kind my kids are at the moment. I hope they keep that. I am terrified for the world we live in, as are so many parents, and I also want to do something about the social media situation. I think there's going to be a real shift over the next few years. Social media and mental health, people can sit behind a keyboard and attack and say things, and there's a difference between speaking your point and getting vicious with people. And I think that's really, really something I've had to consider, how I can protect our next generation from being bullied. It happens with adults. Yes. It's going to happen with teenagers or kids who don't understand. Adults should understand, but the fact that it still happens with adults is scary for our kids. So I think we need to do a lot more work, and we need people to speak out about that. It's going to be crucial for the next few years in the mental health industry.
Have you been trolled at all on this journey as Mummy Jojo on Instagram or anything?
I've been, not often, because I'm normally so positive. Yeah. People hate that. I was trolled, well, the other day, which is why it's all very fresh. And partly can understand, as I say, why people don't like people being honest and speaking out. And of course, I understand. But some of the things that were said, I can't agree with at all. To say that children, it's okay, it's good for them to be excluded. I mean, when something is wrong, you could never. To say to people that they're a bad parent, to say to people, it just blows my mind what some people can say. I had someone a few years ago say that I was wrong for talking about home cooking because patronising to people that couldn't afford, and they had to eat microwave meals. Now, I actually think microwave meals are more expensive than home cooking.
Yeah.
You're not going to please everyone. It's a real compliment to be trolled, because it shows that you're reaching people that may not normally want to come onto your channels. It's a very encouraging sign when you are trolled, but it's very difficult. You have to really think about it, and when you care very passionately about something and want to stand your ground, it's very easy to get lost in the hype. You have to come back to, as you would probably say, your heart space, and really, really be kind. Kindness. We need more kindness.
And you mentioned heart space there. That brings me on to a question, which is, how do you know when you are following your heart?
It's a gut feeling. Yeah. Do you know, it's like the other day, I had this burning, like I couldn't sleep. I lay awake all night thinking, this is wrong. This is really, really wrong. Whenever I put a piece out that's really quite out there, I struggle to sleep the night before, because I know it's going to make some noise. The piece, before I wrote the piece about Dad, when he was struggling, and about people that take mental health personally, when I lay awake pretty much for a whole night writing that in my head, and I had no idea how many people would read it, and that would be part of the first chapter of my book. But I had a gut feeling, just like a marriage piece I wrote, I had a gut feeling that was going to really people were gonna,
Feel it.
it was gonna, yeah. It's a feeling.
It's a feeling, right?
Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just can't ignore it. It's like an overwhelming feeling that you need to, as you would say, what you said so eloquently on the podcast, speak up. You said, do not be silenced. It was just so powerful and I was thinking of you a lot the past few days. I really thought which shows to me you're a true leader in your field. But I've really thought about those words. They've stuck with me.
I think, I'd just done the size seminar the day before. I just completed that 3-day seminar course, and it was all about speaking your truth. So I was totally fired up when I came to see you that day.
So I got you on the best time.
You got me in that high vibrational energy.
So that saved me, like, how much is the course? £1,000 or something?
No, it's actually cheaper, and it's coming to Edinburgh if you want to do it with me in March.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah. Let me just check other questions I have. How do you keep yourself motivated and in tune with yourself? Somebody is asking on Instagram.
Motivation for me is because I do what I love. Like, I love my job. It's more than just a job. It's a hobby. It's a passion. It's a life purpose, if you want to get corny. I know some people hate that word. So that's motivation in itself. Yeah. Like, when I'm sitting working, I just can't describe the feeling I get when I write or when I speak and I see change. That's enough to motivate me. It's hard, obviously. Yeah. I have to switch off too. And sometimes I don't get a lot of sleep because I've got deadlines or I have a lot on. I've got a few speaking gigs one week and a deadline due for a brand but just absolutely finding something you love. And Angela Jackson, the award-winning author, speaks on my podcast tonight, and she says, if there's something you love, life is for living. Yes. And we just said, just live. At exactly the same time, and it was one of those funny moments we just laughed. It was like, just live. And the final chapter of my book, it's called It's Time for a Mojo Injection. And it's all about just living. And I feel like I want to read a line from it. Read, please. I just don't know which one. I mean, well, the end, I guess. Or imagine every day you woke up excited, ready to go out and live. You know, that kind of living when your eyes light up, you're ready to embrace a new day, a day that most people don't get to live. We made it. We got here. The chances of you being born are 1 in 400 trillion. You're already amazing. My wish is that you choose to live, you choose to swim, you choose to tell the negative thoughts in that sweet head of yours to shut it. Because, my friend, it's time you found your full mojo. Just, you know... Yeah, I just feel so strongly about this. So this book, what would you tell people they should read in life after reading your book? What's like your second favourite book in life that everyone should read? Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. That was a great one. Love it. So good. Shine by Gavin Oates and Andy Cope. Love those guys. What else have I read that's been really good this year? There's so many, but I'm kind of taking a blank. I'll post them down below later. Also post the link to your book and the link to your podcast. That would be amazing. And the link to your blog. Great. I'll tell you another book I'm going to read is Mum Boss. That Honest Mum, she is so lovely. I've spoken to her a few times, and got a friend that's worked with her. She is such a nice person. So I'm going to read her book. Amazing. Because I know a lot. Thank you so much for sharing. Let me just see if I've gotten. What gave you inspiration to start up on your own, and like how long have you been self-employed for? I launched Mummy Jojo on 15th. I think it was the 12th of November 2015. Yeah. So, and what gave you the inspiration to do that? I just knew it was, it's funny because a lot of people said to me, when you're going to get a real job? And I just silently thought, there was no option for it not to work. I knew it was going to
Yeah.
already. Not in an arrogant way, but just I knew that I would work hard enough to make it happen. And the same for other people. If you really want to do something, you will make it happen.
Yeah.
It's what you're prepared to sacrifice. I have missed time with my family. We've still had our brilliant days, but on a Saturday morning, Scott goes to Costco a lot and I'm
Yeah.
working. He loves the kids to Costco. If I didn't have the support system, it would be a lot harder. Work, obviously, you know, you have to sacrifice that a bit too if you've got your own business and you want to have good quality time with your family. So that's kind of at the bottom of my pile. But yeah, just a love and a belief and a love of people and a love of making an impact and a love of getting to meet people like yourself and the people I have met that have had the worst times, the worst awful things happen to them, abuse, mental illness, suicide, lost. One of the girls, Jen, she left me a message on Mummy Jojo Facebook this morning, and she inspired some of the words about sink or swim. She had lost babies and she spoke very openly, and I wrote an article in the Evening News about it. What an amazing person. And she said, look, my heart was ripped in two, but I could either sink or swim. I chose to swim.
Wow.
We all have a choice what we do with our bad situations.
Yeah.
We have periods where we may need counselling, we may need just sleep, a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
We may need a period where we need support or we need to cry. You know, if you've just lost someone you love, you're going to need to grieve. You're going to need to let the anger in. You're going to have to accept it. But it's what you do with that eventually.
Yeah.
How you use your stories and your struggles to help other people. That's when we grow. That's when we change the world. That's when you can say on your final deathbed, I've no regrets.
Amazing. I just got goosebumps. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for allowing me to share.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Thank you for tonight. Like, this is a small wee interview that we're doing tonight, and maybe we can come back on and do another one in the future. But before you go, I want to ask, is there anything coming up that we can come to, that we can get tickets for? Is there any gigs?
Oh, no. I'm going to be speaking at the Edinburgh Wellbeing Festival.
Amazing.
I was going to be speaking in Waterstones next month, but with another author, but their publisher didn't like the fact that there was two, they saw it as maybe competition, another book being sold. A real shame because I was really looking forward to that, and I plugged it on my podcast last week. But that's just business. You have to accept business cutthroat. It's not, you can't take it personally. I have got a lot of ideas. Michael Ujoa and I are planning an event on, you know, that kind of toxic side of marketing where they really go for it. Like, what I love about him is he's so against like diet pills and stuff, and he really fights for what he believes. And there's a lot of our kind of vlogging styles are really similar. So I see a lot of fun content with Joa, that's how you pronounce his name. I'd love to do something with yourself. Do you know what? I would love so many things I want to do. But I'll be speaking at more schools and more businesses, and I'll be writing and I've had a lot of messages about my book, so if anyone has enjoyed it or not enjoyed it, just give it a review. That would be amazing, so it does reach more people. I don't need to have all these 5-star. If it didn't resonate, give it a 2, give it a 1. It still helps.
Yeah, all feedback is good. I say that all the time. Feedback, no matter if you think it's bad or good, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, there's things I would change. I would rip it to pieces. And I had a really successful author write to me, and she said, I'm just going to give you advice before you put this out. There'll be times you hate your book. There'll be times you question yourself and you're so paranoid. What do people think? And I think it's even more so with mine because I shared so much. Not like just a story. It's me.
You, laid bare.
Yeah, and but you know what? No regrets there. But any feedback would be phenomenal so that I can continue to improve. It's my first book, and I'm always going to write. A writer has to write. So please give me feedback, and
we'll keep writing because I'm desperate to read your second book. I can't wait for that to come out.
Controversial, but in a really yeah, it's going to cause a lot. Going to make a lot of noise, but in a nice way.
Amazing. Right, let's get something organised. I'll be in touch with you.
I am really excited. I've really enjoyed tonight. I'm going to share it everywhere. And yeah, you're brilliant.
Before you go, is there any wise words? Like, what would you tell your younger self if you could, if you had the chance?
Oh, I would say, listen, stop being such a people pleaser. You're a nice person, but you don't have to stand for this. If something is wrong, speak out. Do what you want to do, not what you think others want you to do. If you are lacking passion in a relationship, you don't need to stay in it. And I'm not saying this as oh, you've been married and you need to work at relationships. But if you're with someone and you're dating them, this is me talking about boyfriends, and you feel it's not right, don't marry them, because divorces are expensive and they're messy. Take your time with that. This is advice to my younger self.
Yeah, keep going. I love it.
Speak your truth every time. Don't settle. Don't try to please people all the time. As long as you're not being a dickhead, okay? As long as you're staying true to your values. So I always come back to my values. So my values are, I do think about people a lot, and I do get criticised. I have some people say, oh, you're always thinking about people too much before yourself. And I know it can be a weakness in times, but that's my value and I can't change who I am. I love people. And freedom's quite a big thing for me as well. So having the freedom of speech, freedom to do what I want to do. So find a job. Don't stay in a job that you don't love. If you love your job, appreciate it, because not many people do. But look, don't settle. Don't settle. You get one shot on this earth.
You get one shot. Do not miss your chance.
You only get one shot. Is that
That's Eminem again.
I'm not afraid.
I think it's his other song though.
Oh yeah, I need to listen to more Eminem. I think he swears too much for the kids.
Yeah, just do it when they're not listening.
Yeah, I don't get that much time to do that. And when they're sleeping, I don't want to wake them up. But I should prance around a bit more when they're school and nursery in between. It's just when they are, I can't kind of be. I'm just work. Because it's juggling it all, isn't it?
Yeah, and do you think, before you go as well, I think somebody else asked that about juggling, like family, work. How do you find it?
Yeah, I have to do a screen detox now, or I will be too. I mean, I get so many emails and messages every day and because I care so much, it's hard to ignore them. So I have to put the screen away. Like today was so nice, putting the phone, leaving it at home, and going for that walk, and just being. There's a whole chapter about mindfulness when you're a busy person and you love your job. We all need to practice it, and especially as a mum who absolutely would do anything for my kids, as we all would as parents. I want to have those pockets of time with them. Time is so precious, and they are so magic. They inspire me every single day by the words that come out of their mouth, and they're just the most magical people, although they're blooming work. And there's moments in the day that I'm just like, I can't stand this, trying to get out of the house and la la la. But the moments that are, those moments, right? Those moments that are just, you can't put a price on them. So I guess it's really, really enjoying your work when you're doing it. If I only have 4 hours in a day, I give it my all. Good. Dishes are in the sink, right? I talked last week, ignore the beep, beep, dishes. It was an after hours event, and I really felt passionately. So, but yeah, I would say just, if I only have 4 hours, some focus, smash the living shizzle out of those 4 hours. Don't procrastinate, just get to it.
Just do it.
Well, quality, not quantity. You can do it. Mums can do it. Parents, dads can do it. You can run a successful business and be a great parent. I used to think you couldn't do both. You can, but you just need to manage yourself. You need to be strict. You need to really focus when you have the time. And when you don't, enjoy them. Enjoy them when you can. As I say, you're not going to enjoy every minute of every day, and that's okay. We don't have to. But the ones that you do, don't forget that bit of the magic. Don't miss out on your piece of the magic side of life. Because if today is my last day, I will not regret having put that phone away and had those pockets of magic. Amazing moment.
Wow.
Be mindful of the most magical moments that you get to have with people you love.
Yes.
Kids, partners, friends. People are amazing. I just love people. People are life. Like, they make life,
Yeah,
don't they?
connection is everything.
Connection is absolutely with like-minded people. Enjoy those times. Really, really cherish them. Put your phone away when you're with those people. I'm very, very thankful to have honest friends, to have kept me grounded, and to say, can you put your phone away? You're pissing me off. Right, because there was one day I was at Salisbury with a friend, and we'd been together about 4 hours, so I thought, well, I can do a few emails, but she was really upset, and it hurt me. It was one of those gut feelings where I didn't sleep that night. You know, I don't sleep and she was so upset, and I thought I failed her. And I know that sounds like drama, but I'd hurt her feelings. So I had her out for lunch, and I got her some flowers, and I said, look, and every time I've spent time with her since, the phone's away, because I'm not gonna, unless I get called or, you know, but appreciate, listen to what people are saying. I could have just said to her, I'm taking this personally as an attack. How dare you? And at first I kind of did. I thought, I'm really hurt. How dare you? You know how busy I am? Do you know how much I'm juggling? Whereas I just needed to listen to her, and actually she had a point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to listen and say, I'm sorry, and put my ego aside and go, actually, she had a point.
Yeah.
She had a point. Everyone has a point to make.
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone has a point to make. Listen more, judge less, live more. That will get your mojo rocking.
Oh, thank you for tonight. Like, you are magic, you're incredible, and I just have loved this conversation. Our second conversation together.
You know, there's a film I really want to watch. There's X Factor results I want to see. Apparently The Affair's back on Netflix. But this topic, I could speak to you all night, Lynette.
Well, let's organise a wee coffee date. But thank you for coming on my second live interview.
Thank you for having me.
And you can share it.
I'm so sorry about the technical hitches
I'm
and that people
still learning, and I'm broken my I need to get a new tripod. The joys of technology. Right. Thanks for this connection tonight.
Thank you.
Have an amazing week.
Thank you to everyone that's listening. I've not really been right. Thank you to everyone that's watching right now. Thank you to everyone that has watched. Thank you to everyone that's going to watch. And yeah.
And share all your stuff, please, underneath.
Okay. I will do. And any good books and stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. Have an amazing evening with your husband.
You too.
See you soon.
Have a great night. Loving that. I wish I could rock the red lips.
You can. It's a bit of Lady Danger from Mac.
Love it. It would be all over my teeth and my.
See you soon.
Right. So nice chat. Loads of love.
Bye.